Hey everyone, what's up? It's Jen, CEO of Quickening, and I have my hubby here, Brian.
CEO of my life.
Yay! He is. You are. Yeah, you're welcome. So we are going to be doing videos on IGTV. It's super fun. I'm excited. And tonight we're going to talk about empathy. But what we do is we awaken leaders from within, which means that we are all leaders, and we got to stop being unconscious leaders, and we got to start being conscious leaders. So we give you methods and activities and redefine these awesome characteristics, leadership characteristics, to have us be conscious leaders. Wake us up. We got to wake up, man. We gotta wake up as leaders. Actually, that kind of hit me really hard right now. Like, we really gotta wake up.
You and I have to wake up. If we're gonna talk about this stuff, we gotta wake up.
Right? We're waking up. Okay, so we're gonna talk about empathy tonight, and why we're talking about empathy is because it is so important. And there's other definitions. I think that empathy is kind of confusing for people.
Let me go there.
Actually, it's like kind of exhausting for people. Babe, go there.
Let me go there.
Okay.
The old definition of empathy that I understand is that if you're going through an issue, I'm going to try to walk in your shoes and from your viewpoint experience what you're experiencing. But how can I do that if I'm not you and I'm not in your shoes?
I know, it's kind of ridiculous when you really think about it.
It sounds like a lot of work.
And what
That's why I've never done it.
I know. We actually were on a cruise one time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you totally don't know how to empathize. We had like this. Do you remember that cruise, babe? I liked that though. That was good. It was like a good awareness for me too. Yeah. Okay, but what I hear in the world that I work in with women is that it's exhausting to be empathetic because we're taking on people's feelings, and we have to be in their shoes, like you said, but also feel, and it's draining, and we have to be strong to be able to be empathetic.
And we're struggling enough to be in our own shoes and be comfortable with that.
So we're going to give you the straight up awesome definition that actually is a little challenging, but it is so key to letting us truly be empathetic with ourselves and others all the time. So let me give you the definition. Do you know it by heart yet? Okay, I'm going to read it. Do you really? You want to try it?
No, I'd like you to try it.
All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to see if I can do this by heart. Okay. I'm going to look at it. Placing all of our attention on how a person feels and what they value, free from story and opinions.
Free from our own story or opinions about what they're experiencing.
Well, it's just free from story or opinion.
Period.
That's a story.
Gotcha.
Just kidding.
That's a story.
I know. No, really though. It's just free from any story or opinion of yourselves, theirs, anything. Okay, so we're going to give you an example of what we experienced just this last week at a couples retreat that we put on for the Quickening. We had a few couples, but let's just share what you want to share what we did. The actual activity. This activity, by the way, you guys, pay attention to this because this is what we're going to give you to be able to experience empathy in your own life after this video.
This is the experiment or the
experiment.
Yeah,
it is. But it's an
activity.
Take
a piece of paper, spend a few minutes.
Well, what did we do?
This is what we did. We wrote down our own story about ourselves or the tough things we're going through.
Something specific that really does keep you stuck. It's your story that you fall into at the easiest, hardest times. So anyway.
So for example,
we did that.
Yeah. I wrote down things like I am stuck in such and such. I can't make more money than I'm making. All these things that really brought up a lot of emotion, negative emotion for me, and I just wrote. And
then I wrote about him. He wrote about him, and my story was about him.
My stories were about me, and her stories were about me. So it was a double whammy for Brian.
Yeah, but it was good. It was actually really good.
Yeah.
We came out the other end good. But this is what we did. So we were at the beach, and we sat down, and we looked across from each other. And what you do is, and so this is what you do, or explain it too, is you actually time. Can you close the door, baby girl? You actually time it. We timed it for 15 minutes. And 15 minutes, you share the story over and over and over again without any other words added, without anything. You share it with that person, and the other person cannot say a word. They're just supposed to listen. And you time it for 15 minutes.
Some people do it for an hour. We did it for 15
whatever you
and
want.
it was good.
Oh yeah, it was good. So this was his experience. You want to share what your experience was? Now again, remember, I don't know, but come back in a little bit. Okay, there you go. So actually, let me just share again the definition. So it's placing all of our attention on how people feel and what they value, free from opinion and story. Now remember, in this, you're actually listening to somebody's story and opinion about themselves and their feelings, all of it, over and over and over again. So the beauty of this, and I guess I'll share really quick. Do you want to share what you experienced? You want me to share?
I kind of want to share what I experienced while you were reading your story about me.
Okay.
Okay. So what I did at the beginning, her story was about, in a way about me. We ended up finding out the things that were triggered by are actually about ourselves. But
Of
so when
course.
she first started saying it out loud, I was at first kind of hurt, right? And then I went from, wait a minute, I took myself out of the equation. Who is this Brian that she's talking about?
Who's this Brian?
I started looking at myself from a third perspective. And then as she continued, my feelings about it lightened, and I started saying, okay, you know what, exactly, how is she experiencing this? How is she feeling right now? And that's it.
So you were able to, because you were hearing the story over and over again, and
Yeah.
because we also were in a place of,
We were
it
at
was
the
like,
beach.
well, it was a permission place. We were actually in a permission place. So we were knowing consciously that we were going to work on this and that we were working on empathy. That's the first key, is that you're accepting the fact that you're going to be working on this and that you're open to it.
You're intentionally doing this activity
intentionally.
that appears to be negative at first.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, so he had that
Correct.
experience. He also I noticed he lightened up for his. So I'll just share really quick my story. So my story about him was like, he was evil. He was like, I was going to be evil if I loved him and I had to hate him. I mean, it was an intense story, man. I didn't even
So
realize it was
extreme.
there. But what was crazy is as I was saying the story over and over, I started thinking this is like it was like a Marvel movie. That's what it was, a comic.
I was the villain.
He was the villain and I was the good guy, and I was going to be like influenced
Typical.
by him. No, but what was cool about it is it put it into this other perspective for me, and I was able to look at so I got to go first. I was able to look at like, whoa, this is just a story. So when he started sharing his story about himself, I was already open. My heart was open, which we're talking about open-hearted in another video. And I was open-hearted, and I realized that I don't allow his feelings and I don't allow him in because I'm so exhausted of the story that I'm telling myself and his story he's telling himself about himself. So because of this activity, it loosened all that up. It brought it away, and it showed us what really was going on. He was laughing about his story by the end of him sharing his story.
Yeah.
I was laughing about it and seeing how ridiculous it all was. And I was able to really take in who Brian was, seeing that he really does value fun and laughter, and that he does value, I saw him like in a different light. My perspective of you changed while I was watching you read your story. So it was like we did experience the story, or we did share the story, but it helped to bring us back into values and feelings. That's why this is such a powerful activity.
Powerful activity.
Powerful activity.
Yes, and it's helped us in we're even like starting to work together, which we haven't done.
Well, and
She's
that's the
helping-
beauty of it today. So we needed to start. I stepped into working with them in their business and
Watch
helping
this.
them coach. Yeah.
So normally when I'm
here.
going through a tough time, I'm struggling at work, whatever, I hold it in to me, right? Today, I called her, Coach Jen. I said, hey.
That's
this
what
is
they're paying me
this-
for.
Yeah, well, this is what's going on, and walk me through it, and she did.
And I couldn't have done that unless I had done what I did last week.
Yeah, because it used
I
to be
loosened my
like,
grip
it
on his
used to
story.
be like this. I come home from a struggle at work, hey, and immediately she's like, I don't want to hear your story.
Or I just have to walk away, or I just ignore, or I have to shut
I
down.
don't want to hear the negative. or
And
whatever.
really what it comes down to is I'm exhausted. I need self-empathy. I need to be able to hear myself. And I needed him to do that. But really what it was coming to, I was in all my story and stuff with him. So that just loosened the grip. So the point of this is, and the beauty of this activity is to do it. First of all, say you're going to do it. Be willing to write down that story. Either find somebody to listen to you. Again, remember, these are the two keys. Do not veer from your story that you wrote. You will want to do that.
Word
Don't
for word.
do it.
Word for word.
Word for word. And then you also, if somebody's listening to you, please ask them to not say a word during the whole thing. Now, you can write notes down, and they can while you're going through it, which I did, which was really cool too, because I didn't want to forget what I was experiencing while I was moving through the stories. So do it. So anything else you want to share about this?
Just do it.
And
It's
how
like-
powerful
it's
is
actually
empathy?
really cool.
True
Yeah.
empathy, how powerful is it?
It's awesome. It changes, like self-empathy, empathy towards others, with others.
It is an incredible heart leadership characteristic, empathy. And it is key in us being able to move through this planet and actually be happy in our leadership roles.
I will say the one thing it does for sure powerfully
Mm-hmm.
is takes away what we believe to be a true story and makes it, we see how like, what was it?
It's
What's
not
the
about
word?
the story anymore.
No, it's like it became funny. Like this stuff isn't even true.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
believing.
We
Awesome.
see the truth underneath the
Now
underneath
what
the
now
parent
what
truth.
am I going to choose?
Yeah.
I have more options.
So what we want you guys to do, the call of action is to do this. Do this story, find some time, do it in the next day. So I'm gonna do another video tomorrow. And this is going to bring the conscious you your leadership in empathy to a conscious level. You're going to see where you've